Welcome, webheads, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast, brought to you by Anchor, where we leak your favorite trailers from under Kevin Feige's nose. I'm joking, Kevin. We love you. Please don't close our deal.
Well, go at him, not me. I'm just I'm not participating in this intro.
But anyway, on today's episode, you already know from the title that we're talking all things Spider-Man related. The official trailer just dropped 2 days ago, so you guys know we had to hop on the hype. My name is Dylan. Helping me cast a spell in this discussion is the Sorcerer Supreme and my awesome co-host, Akram. What's going on, man? How did you react when you first saw the leaks?
First of all, I give you an A+ for these intros. I love that. So I feel like I have a pressure to do intros because I gotta hit you back with stuff. But no, I loved it a lot. I discussed it on my channel not too long ago, and I feel like I'm so glad we're talking right now because there's just so much to unpack, especially with you. So it's like it hit all notes for me. It's kind of the same like the leak, but a little bit different, more rendered. So the leak definitely was like early on, and then they just decided to leak it. So I don't know. And maybe that's
do you think they released it because of the leak, or do you think they plan to?
I think everything came at the right moment. That being said, it wasn't intentional, the leak as well, right? It's like I don't know how corporate stuff works. Like maybe that's just a way because everyone's like begging for it. I don't know, but I do know there was a set date, and I think it was delayed because of COVID and also just like trying to get the trailer together. And I think this trailer honestly is a really hard trailer to make because obviously there are so many pieces moving in this movie, right? With characters, and there was leaks from the synopsis that we discussed one time, I think, in a discussion. So I definitely think it was intentional, but are both parties, like, was it intentional on both fronts, right? That remains to be seen. How about yourself?
Well, it's funny because like a lot of people have been saying WandaVision kind of like
right
set in motion because of the August 23rd date on the calendar. I don't believe that. I think that's just like a fan theory thing. But
probably, I mean, yeah, it's pretty slick though, that theory.
Right. I just think they, like Sony and Marvel, were just like pressured because after the leak came out, it's like, all right, well, now we have to, right? It's like just a reaction to that. I think they did have a set date planned. But once the leaks came out, it's like, all right, fuck, now we got to force our hand, right, to put something out. Otherwise, we're disappointing. But moving on to the trailer itself, I did enjoy it. It's a lot to break down. Starting, let's start with Peter, obviously. So I think this is definitely gonna unpack right after Far From Home, right, because he's dealing with the effects of Mysterio. Mysterio leaking his identity like the trailer.
Yeah, that's what leaked the trailer.
Yeah, I hope MJ has like a bigger role in this movie other than just being like the love interest. That's why I kind of like Kirsten Dunst's character like in the Raimi movies, because even though like she was love interest, like she had real world problems, right, that she was dealing with. So we kind of like see her go through that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish that they did more of MJ because obviously MJ looks like here a depressed person, and we could definitely relate. Everybody could relate to that, and it's just like I wish we seen more. And it builds character too for Peter. Like he's trying to, that's his love interest. He's trying to cope and manage, try to help her out. So, but I don't know. I feel like she's kind of a throwaway character. She's just, oh, I'm MJ. Okay, good for you. It's like. Funny point that you made too, because I have this theory where maybe No Way Home takes place a little bit more after the leak, because if you see like the press is on it, right? I think we're gonna see some stuff like after he swings away and stuff like that, but I feel like maybe it'll take like a couple of months later just to let that sit in. Not a couple months, like it could be a couple of weeks, but like to let that sit in, like, oh, you're either the menace or you're either the hero. It's just like everyone's split on it, right? And plus Mysterio kind of like did him dirty too, and like basically it seemed like a confession of like, oh, he killed me or something like that, if I remember correctly. So I think they're gonna let that stew in probably like around 30 minutes after when the movies like starts and stuff like that. That's probably when we'll get into Doctor Strange territory. That's how I kind of see it, just to get off formalities of like what's going on. But yeah, what else do you got for us? What else did you spot from the trailer?
So we gotta talk about if Matt Murdock is having an appearance, right? Because there was that shot of when he's in the interrogation room
I
in the police
seen.
department, and there was that shot because they hit his face, right? That guy that was like with the tie and he's putting down full, like, I don't know if that is, maybe that's like a misdirection, because I would imagine like Matt would have like his full like gray suit and everything. I don't know, maybe they're hiding that just because for spoiler territory, but I hope it's Charlie Cox. What do you think?
Yeah, that like that I would love that, honestly. I feel like sometimes people stretch things. People are comparing like the hairy arms of Charlie Cox compared to the guy. I don't know. I don't even know where he is. Like maybe he's just talking to a detective or something like that. We don't really know what happened. I would love as Charlie Cox again. It'll be a confirmation for. I kind of consider Netflix and like other properties or other IPs, kind of like expanded universe or legends of Star Wars, right? So I hope that that's not the case. I hope everything's canon, but that also remains to be seen. I really hope so, though. My hopes are there. I don't think we're gonna actually get like Daredevil really there. I think it's more so Matt Murdock, right? Because Doctor Strange, I think, is gonna definitely help out Peter. Maybe Vulture. I don't know. Again, from the leak, we didn't really hear about Vulture as much. I'll be surprised if like the Sinister Six is here and like Vulture doesn't get involved in some way or form. So here's to hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they were gonna reintroduce Matt Murdock into the MCU, this would definitely be the movie to do it, right? Because they're doing so many crazy things already, like bringing in Raimi characters and Andrew Garfield characters. So they're like, fuck it, why not just like throw another element in there? But I don't think he's gonna have too much of a role. Maybe he'll just have like a quick like 5-minute cameo or something. But it'd be cool to just have him just like to confirm that the Defender series still exists out there, right? Because that is like the heart and soul of a lot of like early like MCU watchers, like myself included. Like those were like great shows, right? They kind of like kickstarted off this whole like streaming platform TV series stuff, right? So it definitely has like a special place in my heart. So I really hope that they they can confirm that he is in the MCU. But moving on to what you're talking about with the Sinister Six, I know like, it is a lot of potential to get a Sinister Six appearance. We've already seen, obviously, Doc Ock and Green Goblin confirmed. I think Jamie Foxx's Electro is also going to be in this.
Yeah, I mean, if you search on Google, actually, like they're showing the cast, which is strange, and it's just like you see Jamie Foxx, what's his name, Alfred Molina, there. So definitely. I don't remember if I saw William Dafoe, but obviously he's a part of it. I mean, that's his voice. That's his also Pumpkin Bomb. So
Yeah, and I don't know if Sandman is going to be involved because there was a scene where there was like a sandstorm. So I don't know if they're getting. I forgot the actor's name who played him in Spider-Man 3, but I would love to see him back. I think his name is Thomas. I forgot his name, but but yeah, he was cool. I did like that rendition of Sandman. I'm trying to think. I don't know if maybe Vulture, because if you think about it,
Thomas Hayden. Sorry, there you go. That's his name.
Thomas. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Vulture would be cool because if you think about it, he could forget who Peter was too. Because
that's
Dr.
interesting. That's sad too. It's like but again, how would the Avengers react, right? Like the newly formed Avengers and stuff like that, like Shield, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could also be a silver lining to the problem that he has too.
Right. So I mean, there's gonna be good and bad with people like forgetting who he is. Obviously, I don't know because when you bring in like characters from like different universes, they still know who Peter is, right? So it'd be weird
Yeah.
to see. But I didn't like Doc Ock look too much. I don't know.
I don't know why. I loved it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're even joking now. I loved it.
I don't know. I hope that's not his final appearance in the movie, but I don't know. He looked, because first of all, his hair is like weird. It looks like fucking Cletus Cassidy from Venom.
What?
Like,
my man's using L'Oreal. He looks fine. What are you talking? He actually looks younger, which is crazy. He
looks like a
thinner.
fucking like vampire from like Underworld or some shit, like Morpheus from the Matrix.
Damn, no way, Jose. I like it a lot. I like his. I mean, it's very typical for him, especially Spider-Man 2, to wear the trench coat type of thing and those glasses. So I don't know. I liked it. I want to see.
I missed the puppet arms. I hope they're not like totally CGI.
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure. Like that's just
Probably.
how they operate now. I mean, I really I can't wait to see Green Goblin's design. I hope that like they change up his suit. Like I wonder if he'll get like a rebooted
I love his
type of
suit.
No, I loved it, but
it.
like something more comic accurate, maybe like how the MCU does it. Electro is a big question because I seen some leaked photos. I don't know if they're real, but they look pretty real. They came out at the same time with the leaked images, but I'm kind of skeptical on that. But it looks like Jamie Foxx is regular Jamie Foxx, not blue or like nerdy Jamie Foxx. He's wearing like a jacket that's green and yellow. So I don't know, that somebody has to be really good at Photoshop to change that up. But I think that's pretty much how Electro will look.
I hope he has like a closer to like the Spider-Man games where it kind of like has like a harness thing and then it like amplifies his like powers and shit. I kind of want to see like some like MCU version of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the leaked image too, I guess his personality would change, differently, like way differently. Yeah, what else you got for us?
Well, I think Doctor Strange is definitely makes sense, right? Because with the whole multiverse thing going on, it just makes sense. And then like he's got Multiverse of Madness coming out. I don't know when Multiverse of Madness is coming out. I don't know if it's this year or next year.
I believe it's next year.
Next year, so probably he's going to be dealing with the after effects of this movie, probably in that movie, I would imagine, and then Wanda too. But some people were saying like it's out of character for him to.
It is weird.
Just do that.
It is pretty weird. I wonder if that's like some variant or something like just peeped in. Yeah, I mean it is pretty weird. I don't. But again, he said okay when the first time, like he said okay when he was like Peter just met him and he's wearing that like winter clothing or whatever, so the jacket and stuff. So
I think people like put like Doctor Strange on a high pedestal, right? Because he hasn't had much like character development since Infinity War, right? Because I mean he had flaws in the beginning, right? Because he was kind of like a selfish person. But I think like now he's kind of like laid back a little. I think that's why he's willing to help Peter, right? Because he's still young, and I feel like he's like taking the role of Tony Stark now, because Peter always has like some sort of like father figure in the movies. He's getting, like you said earlier, he's getting help from like so many people now, right? So I think Strange is gonna fill those shoes of Tony and just be like his guide. It was cool to see like his house, like all like Arctic and shit. Like his house looks like my house in winter, like when my grandparents don't let me use the heater because of the thermostat.
Same, yeah. Yeah, but, I love the Sanctum Sanctorum. So I wonder what else we're gonna uncover there. I hope we see a lot of shit because it looks like they're in a different, completely. Maybe they're in a basement. Ooh.
Maybe. And then I think I don't know if Wong, maybe he's going because he was like going away on. Maybe he's going to Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I don't think so because we see the background, and apparently the background there's like a type of pillar that resembles a lot like in the first Doctor Strange movie, where what's that place called? It's not called Shangri-La, right? It's like where they're practicing mystical arts and stuff like that. There's like some pillars that look exactly the same.
Lung.
Yeah, I know. It's like that would be really crazy if like they just merged that too. But yeah, I think he's going there actually. Now, why does he fight Abomination later? I don't know, but again, I think this movie takes place before Shang-Chi, so we probably won't get the answer to that here. Probably more so on Shang-Chi.
I mean, chronologically, maybe not, because Shang-Chi is coming out this week, right, or next week?
Yeah, correct. I mean, the same problem goes for the Eternals. I think the Eternals is supposed to happen right after WandaVision, during Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki, or either before. I heard somewhere that's actually before WandaVision. I mean, No Way Home takes place differently too.
Yeah, Marvel, they're always kind of like out of order because like Black Widow takes place after Civil War, right? And that came out after Infinity War. So they're out of place sometimes chronologically, but I don't know, it's a possibility. But yeah, I mean, Strange looked pretty dope. I hope we see like more of his powers and shit.
Yeah, me too. I I'm glad that we get to see more of that fucking Inception looking thing going on, especially what
Right.
happened and I would say Spider-Man 1, especially what happened in Doctor Strange.
And
So
when the city is like bending and shit.
yeah, I love that. I mean, that's so fun to like have set pieces, especially like for Peter, how agile he is
You
and
see
stuff like
like
that. That'd be fun.
you see like Leo DiCaprio in a cafe like spinning a dreidel and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. They should do an Easter egg of that.
The multiverse really did bring in everybody.
Absolutely.
But still no hint of Toby or Andrew. So I don't know from what the leaks have been saying, but I don't know. Do you think they're gonna hold out on another trailer, maybe like towards the end of the year?
I think I mean they probably would say, this is more so like a teaser. Definitely they would save it for like an official, like I think they'll call it trailer too actually. I definitely think they might show something of it, but I don't know, that's something that they're keeping tight-lipped about, right? So that maybe they probably just want to save that for the actual film. Like those moments where like we didn't expect Thanos to actually snap his fingers and like, I mean, I kind of like thought, oh, this would happen, but it was pretty
Do you
tight-lipped.
think maybe they'll do like a part two? Like
I don't think so.
maybe it ends on like a cliffhanger, and then it's just like Toby and Andrew are there, and then like we get like another like Spider-Verse movie or something.
I don't know. I don't think so, really. I mean,
'Cause
that
there's a
this
lot in this trailer. Like if you think about it, it's gonna be at least a 2-hour movie with all this shit going on.
well, most of them are anyway. It's just like I feel like the way they're doing Spider-Man, it's just really he's just on a vehicle right through his movies, and so he's moving through all these things. So I mean, it could happen, but for like a part two, like to be continued, I feel like they waited for Infinity Wars. I feel like for this, they definitely get a um just stick with it and like everything will the return to equilibrium at the end, I think, with some added bonus of multiverse madness, right? So just a teaser. I think multiverse madness really will pick up. I think that I can't really see them having Toby and Andrew return like for these big deals, right? Because I don't know, they're so busy, but like they're really into different stuff right now. So they must have been offered a lot of money just to return. So I'm not sure about that. Whereas I'm interested because they said Ned apparently, because the actor from Ned lost a lot of weight too. So I'm interested like what's going on with him. Is that just like a choice like for him physically, like he just wants to lose weight, or is it because he's actually going to become like Hobgoblin or something, or like get influenced by William Dafoe? I don't know too. That no one really talked about that. Betty Rand, I believe her name is. She's like doing more reporting like outside of the school, and I believe that there was some theories saying that she is like mad dogging or like talking shit about Spider-Man, basically now Peter, and using that like to influence her status as like a better reporter, like reporting on stuff about him. And then also we've seen some not leaked, but people were alluding that they were like Croc, apparently. What's his name? Oh, the lizard, actually, from
Oh yeah, the lizard. I forgot.
Spider-Man. Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man. Apparently, he's like in the shadows, but they kind of did something so you can't see him too well. I'm interested to see his look too. I wonder if it's like a redesign. I didn't mind his design too much. I thought it was all right the first time around. So, because he's definitely a part of this. Apparently, like that's what I heard. That apparently Lizard is a part of this too. So yeah, I mean, there's again, you have to like make this trailer really carefully because there's so many pieces that you don't want to reveal too early, right? And I feel like this project definitely is tight-lipped. Like this is like more so tight-lipped than Endgame, especially with the trailer being like released like way later, right? And it's just like this it's not organized with the figure releases, like the promo images. Like you're supposed to release that like a month before the movie comes out, or at least like it doesn't make sense all too much. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of questions, which is a good thing from a teaser trailer, honestly, because you're just getting more excited to figure out about what if, right? So.
Do you think that black suit that he had in trailer was that the Doctor Strange like
Yeah.
mystic suit from
Everyone's
Hot Toys?
Yeah, I was watching Watch Mojo, and like they were going on a tangent, like saying, "And what is this black suit? This is Peter," and they're like saying this thing where like Peter, every time he goes through a crisis or like he loses an ability, he dons a black suit or a blah blah blah. That suit definitely is the Doctor Strange promo from Hot Toys that you've seen. Like that's what it is right there. I mean, I could tell because there were some textures on it too. The same thing.
Oh,
That's
that's not
definitely it.
Spider-Man. That's Night Monkey.
Yeah. No, that people were saying like I was so mad. They were saying like we're not sure this is Night Monkey or something, or like that tactical black suit or whatever. And like, no, that's definitely a Doctor Strange. Like, I'm surprised everyone's like sleeping on the figures. That's why I said the devil's in the details, basically. Like, pay attention to the figures.
You know what would be awesome? I doubt they're gonna do this, but if we got like Venom in this.
Oh, I don't think so. That's like
It's Sony. It's Sony. They could do it.
It's also a bad thing. I mean, everybody wants it, but it's also like if you put too much into something, you dilute the character arc for Spider-Man even more, right? Because now this motherfucker get advice from actual Spider-Man, and then also probably from Ed Hardy, the glasses, Tom Hardy's character Eddie Brock. So it's like I don't think so. I think that they're keeping, because they just announced recently too they're gonna make their own universe. They said that a long time ago, but there's an official name for it, and it's so bad that I even forgot what it is. But it's like I think Sony basically really wants Venom to be like the mascot of like the Sonyverse now. So I think they're gonna unfortunately keep Venom in his own territory.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see a crossover one day. Hopefully, I hope. I mean, if they can pull off as something as crazy as this, I'm sure there's room for that somewhere down the line in the future.
Hopefully.
But any other thoughts you had on the trailer? Is there anything you'd love to see from this movie?
Good question. I mean, I would love to see different characters from the previous films of like the Amazing Spider-Man and OG Spider-Man. I'd love to see like what happened, and then also, what became of them, right? Like what happened with MJ. Like I hope, because I'm pretty sure that Spider-Man will be there. I think it'll be really disappointing they weren't, but also being a Debbie Downer, I kind of feel like, oh no, we were all Joe about this, so they're not going to show up, and it's just going to be the Sinister Six, and that's going to be the most exciting part about it, maybe. I definitely would like to see, from the leak synopsis I heard, that apparently like that they were taken by Doctor Strange's magic to Peter's world, right? Before the deaths, apparently. So that's a theme too. Peter always causes the death of like his villains and stuff. So I don't know, but I definitely want to see character arcs fulfilled in a different way, right? And the possibilities of the future too of different properties or different characters, such as like, for example, Captain America or something. Like, how would that look like if there was somebody else from a different universe that leaked into ours? So that's my hopes for it. I think this is a big movie too. I feel like when you do a film, you have to make it. Well, no, that's bullshit, because Loki episode 6 was like the hugest thing that happened, basically, other than Endgame, with like that reveal of like there's different variants and then a timeline, and oh shit, now it's gonna go wild. So it is weird that Doctor Strange did like comply with Peter and say, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll help you out, like randomly, because he has a lot of pressures on his shoulder right now, like fucking up the multiverse and having to deal with the timeline. It's a lot of shit to do.
A lot of people have been saying like too that it wasn't completely Doctor Strange's fault. Like you remember, I mean, like some of the blame you could put like on Sylvie too from Loki. Like
her part in timeline, yeah.
Because you could say like the walls of the multiverse are collapsing, right? So it's not entirely like Doctor Strange's fault that everything like shit is going to hit in the fan.
Well, that's the same thing. Like if somebody like fucking is there in the same room that like somebody murdered somebody and say, you got to help me move the body. All right, let's do it. It's like, I feel like that's the same thing. I don't know though. I mean, yeah.
Or do you think like that scene when Kang is like, people have been like doing this with WandaVision too, but like that scene where like he pauses, right? And he's like, oh, we're past this threshold. Do you think in that moment that's when Doctor Strange cast the spell?
Now, like you said, they're ordering from chronologically, like for the films is different. So it could be. Again, people were saying like some things that he was like doing like in the same time marker was happening in WandaVision and stuff like that. So I don't know. That'll be neat though. I'd love for it to connect like that. I don't think they'll ever go into that though, so I feel like that's definitely like a thing where it's just gonna be speculation.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of like continuity you have to keep up with. That's why I'm not sure how this movie's gonna work out, because it's like if you're messing with the multiverse, I would imagine like the TVA would have showed up and like stopped you.
Well, then they probably were destroyed. I mean, well, again, this is like the timeline in the Eternals too will definitely go into the timeline, because they're basically like above all of that, right? They definitely should see past all of that, you know. So it's different entities, and my last words is that I'm excited to see the future for our beloved franchise, and I think that everything coming forward is going to be meaningful rather than, and then there's going to be some personal arcs too, obviously, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it was more personal, and there's going to be some things on TV that's bombastic and gloriously purposeful, just like the Loki series, right? So I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Well, I would love to hear like him just say one more time, with great power comes great responsibility, because he's never really said it in the new ones, right?
He did a spin on it. Yeah, I know. He did a spin on a Civil War. I was like,
bye.
Like that's the same thing that happened in Amazing Spider-Man.
Right. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll see like what the MCU Uncle Ben looks like. Maybe like in a different timeline. I would love to see like how they did in Endgame, where like you go back to like different timelines in the Marvel universe and you're just reliving those moments. I would love to see that with like maybe like Tom Holland's Peter like ends up in like the building that Green Goblin and Spider-Man were fighting in for some reason, and he's like watching their fight, or like Andrew like when he's fighting like the Lizard or something. I don't know, that'd be cool just to like see. That's how like the villains like end up in the multiverse.
It would be really cool to see. Yeah, I'm all for Brad Pitt being Uncle Ben.
Well, that about wraps. But yeah, any other final thoughts before we close?
That's it for me, my friend.
Are you sure? Trying to pull that shit like, but what? Or you're like Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventure, like one more thing.
This is an E3 announcement, so I'm done.
Right. Well, guys, that about wraps up our discussion on the Spidey trailer reactions for today. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in and supporting our channel. We have a What If episode coming out after this episode. So you might want to stick around. So be sure to like and follow us for more content. And if you want to get us to know us more, you can follow our social media accounts, which are tagged in the description and at the end of this video. All right, until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
See ya, chumps. Oh my god. Yo, what the fuck? We shouldn't have made all those jokes back then.
That was kind of short, because we started at 11, so it was like...
Are you serious?
Like 30, 40 minutes.
How long were we talking for? I mean, I felt like it was kind of short, but how long? We're doing a fucking practice run. Are you serious?